Well, the next gentleman I'm going to bring forth is preeminent in his field worldwide, and that's because it's a very, very weird field. He's been on just about all of the late night talk shows. I know for a fact, don't let this prejudice you, he's been on Jerry Springer. Would you please welcome the incomparable Todd Robbins?
Oh, thank you. Good evening. Thank you. I am Todd Robbins, and you know who you are. So let's move on to new business, shall we? Being here tonight. Doesn't get any better than that. Being here tonight, part of the show, is more than an honor and a pleasure. It's a contractual obligation. I've come here for one reason only, and that is to give you all a demonstration of the ancient honorable art of sword swallowing. Now, I'll give you a little more depth here, just so this is educational as well as entertaining. The way you learn sword swallowing, that foreign object for sword swallowing is a coat hanger, a wire coat, a Joan Crawford memorial wire coat hanger. And what you do is you stretch out the outline of a sword, and one day before your breakfast, you sure as hell don't want to do it after your breakfast, you go into the bathroom and you put it down your throat, you gag yourself, and you relax. And then you do it again and again and again. You do it 7 times that day, and then you go on with your day, and then you come back the next day and you do it 7 more times. You do what is known as 7 by 7. This means you do it every day for 7 days. And at the end of the week, the throat will not have opened up. It takes a lot longer than that. You have to do it several more weeks, sometimes months of this daily practice before the throat will open up and you can swallow the coat hanger. But no one has ever made a living as a professional coat hanger swallower. Sword swallow, thank you for listening. Sword swallowing is the name of the game, so you have to get your throat used to that. So what you have to do is then switch over to a sword and do work on that. And once you can drop a blade, well, that's really where you begin, because now you've got the skill, now you have to make it entertaining. And this is quite a challenge, to say the least. So basically, what I'm trying to get at is it can take a year from that first day when you stand there and you gag yourself to when you are ready to stand on stage under the lights and swallow a sword for the first time. And it is that moment, after you've gone through that odyssey of pain and torture, it is that moment when you're standing in front of the public for the first time and you drop a blade, then and only then you discover that no one gives a rat's ass about sword swallowing. It's true. It's so very true. And there's the reason. And it's this collapsible swords. We have seen these in movies, we've seen them in cartoons, and therefore people know these things exist. And when they see sword swallowing, they say, "Oh, it folds up in the handle. That's how it's done. It's a cheap little trick, and it's not a real skill." No, it is a real skill, and to prove it to you right here and right now, I am going to swallow a sword. I'm going to start off with this blade. The handle broke off a long time ago, which means there's no handle full of into. If this is going anywhere, it's right down the gullet. I'm going to bang it around so you can hear it solid. I'm going to clean it off, basically sterilizing it so it can be handed out to be examined by someone here. And all right. I'm just going to can I have the house lights up, please? Thank you very much. So would you do me a favor? Just take a look at this, if you would, and just see that it's just basically a bar of steel. It doesn't collapse, it doesn't fold. It's a real thing, isn't it? Yep. Thank you very much. Applause for the lady. Let's hear it. And after all that, some people still aren't too sure. They have to see for themselves. So, okay, folks, if that's the way it's going to be, then that's the way it's going to be. I'm going to swallow this sword. And I'm sure that you're going to be like all the other wonderful audiences that I've done this for. That when you see me shove this down my throat, risking my life for your entertainment, you're going to burst into thunderous applause, right?
Yeah.
Thank you. Both of you. Okay, here it goes. Down the hatch without a scratch. Look, my fever's gone down. Well, now we have a problem, and then that's it. That's sword swallowing. That's the one skill. That's all there is to it. The whole act really is that one skill. And to make things interesting, sword swallowers have added a little variety by making things more dangerous, like swallowing, not the whole damn thing over here, swallowing something like this. Look at this, look at this. This is a Moroccan Chris. This blade was specifically designed that when you're fighting with it, the actual puncture doesn't kill your enemy. When you pull this sucker out, this serrated edge is going to leave a wound so nasty that your enemy is going to die a slow, painful death from infection several days, weeks, or months later. You want to see me shove this down my throat, don't you? What a sick bunch. For my kind of people. If you're worried about all the licking, well, it's like so many things in life. If you want to be successful, you got to get it hot and you got to get it wet. Kids, write that down. No, I'm available to entertain a children's birthday. So I'm going to do this. And the great thing about this is when I swallow this one, you can actually see my throat jiggle back and forth as it navigates down, but at no additional charge. There you go. Stuff down my throat, but I've already got the job. So I'm just going to do one last little sword swallowing feat for you here, and it happens to be the most dangerous and difficult in this skill set. Stay. And gravity, it is the law. And I'm going to do it and use this blade. This is the last one I'm going to do, and it is the most dangerous and difficult of this dangerous and difficult skill set here. It's not the longest blade I have, it's not the sharpest, but it's the most dangerous. Matter of fact, because of this blade, there's 3 distinct dangers to what I'm about to do. Danger number 1, I'm swallowing a sword. People have died trying to do this. Matter of fact, every professional sword swallower sooner or later ends up hurting themselves. I myself ended up in an emergency room in Wichita, Kansas one morning at 3 a.m. being x-rayed, making sure I hadn't done anything more severe than just scratching the daylights out of my esophagus after doing this very feat. Now, I know you're sitting out there, and some of you are saying, well, then don't do the damn. But I got it. Because I know what's going to happen. You're going to walk out of here tonight and say that no applause, just throw money was the greatest theatrical experience I'd ever encountered. And it would have been perfect. It would have won that drama desk award if you had just swallowed that damn sword. So who am I to leave you emotionally unsatisfied? I'm a giver. So I'm going to swallow it. That's danger number 1, I'm going to swallow the sword. Danger number 2 is the way I'm going to swallow the sword. It's a very heavy sword. It's got a solid bronze handle and head because of the weight of the sword allows me to do danger number 2, which is I'm going to start to swallow the sword and then I'm going to let go. Oh, no. And with no hands, just allow the weight in the throat and everything to lower it down to go like that. But that's not all. If you call right now, also danger number 3. Which is that while this is down my throat, I'm going to bend over and take a bow. Oh yeah! And because this is 3 times more dangerous than anything you've seen me do, I'm going to get 3 times the applause, right? All right, here we go, all right. Let's just do this here. So 3 times the danger, 3 times the applause. I just want to make sure, because I'm doing this for you folks. I've seen it before. And I'm sick of it. But for you folks, anything, because I am a giver.